What's good, Osiris here, and I'm not done with Neck Boy.
Beneath the foul-smelling hoodie was this protrusion.
There's more that we need to talk about with him, and I'm not blaming Revenge of the Neck for this situation. I don't know if he even knows what's going on. I don't know that for sure.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Similar to Brandon, I bet I blame the people around him more than anyone for this situation. He has to get some blame too, but if he's not there, then I've got to blame somebody else who's helping him along this way. What I'm talking about is the equipment that he's using. The equipment that he's using.
Payne required that he be allowed to use a transcription program on his computer during our interview.
To do this voice to text translation, that equipment must be public property, period. It has to be immediately. And it came to mind when I heard Tucker's take on this.
Fetterman uses a software program to understand the words of those around him and to formulate his responses to those words. In other words, to talk. Instead, this program takes words and then rearranges them into language that John Fetterman can understand because his brain can no longer do that for him.
Tucker Carlson said, it sounded like he knows. I didn't see this. He said that the voice is not just regular voice to text. When we saw the video in his interview, this is Festerman, in his interview, they showed us the computer screen, not the actual device, the computer, the CPU. They showed us the screen, and as the interviewer was talking, we saw the words. But what Tucker's saying is that it rearranges the words in a way that makes sense to him because unfortunately he has brain damage. This is somebody had to program this. Either way, it has to be programmed. It is an algorithm, so to speak, potentially. We don't even know what it is. The bottom line is it should be public property. How do we know at some point the algorithm won't be just doing voice to text? It'll be doing voice to text answer, meaning who knows if he even heard what the question was. It would do voice to, we're formulating the answer as the person speaks. That technology is out there. I don't have access to it, but I'm sure other people might. He could do a voice. Someone could ask him a question, and the algorithm that we don't have access to could be printing out an answer, meaning he'll just look at the screen and read the answer, and we don't know if he even understood the question. That is possible. It is the exact same concern as our elections. This should be handled at the state level, but maybe we do need a federal bill on this because I'm going to end with my take on transhumanism here, which is actually a good thing for Festerneck. But if you look at it in Georgia, when you go out to fill out your thing, when you're going to participate to say, hey, I want this person to represent me, what happens is they give you a QR code. Then they say, we have a paper trail for this. No. A QR code is not a paper trail. I don't have a chip. I don't have Neuralink in my head yet. So when I look at a QR code, I don't know what that means. You could put under there that I support Tulsi Gabbard. I wrote in Tulsi Gabbard. And the QR code says, well, that's what the QR code says. I don't know what the QR code means. So you go to a private company and say, I need to know what your algorithm is so I can double check these QR codes, because if you give me paper with a QR code, it's not really paper, it's just digital. Same thing with this dude.
The Eagles are so much better than the Eagles.
At first, I just wanted to check in and see how you're feeling and how you're doing.
I'm doing fantastic. And it's not about kicking balls in the authority or anything. And make sure you take advantage of this amazing opportunity to, the only thing you have, Stan, to lose is your record. What is wrong with demanding for an easy, safe kind of their income, a path to a safe place for them to win? And I can champion the union way of life in DC. If you come out and step with us, we will be able to stand with you in DC.
This dude here is using material to help him run for office. The people of Pennsylvania, I think it should be the people of Pennsylvania, I got to think that through. But for sure, the people of Pennsylvania should be able to see the algorithm should be open source. We should be able to look at it at any time, 24/7. And he should not be able to use anything to help him in assistance outside of, and you can tell, I'm kind of afraid he might win. Who knows? The people on The View, they're trying to help make him win with terrible takes like this.
And Lester, in small talk before the interview, without captioning, it wasn't clear he was understanding our conversation.
I actually thought it was inappropriate that she said during small talk before our interview.
Maybe she's bad at small talk. Maybe it was her.
Maybe it's her.
These brainless, unimpressive women on The View are trying to distract you from serious discussion.
Time for The View. Let me out of here! I can't watch another second!
The people of Pennsylvania should be able to see the code of whatever Festerman's using. If this person who School the World just called Fester, and School the World from now on it's Festerman. I'm going to end with this. I'm happy for John Fetterman, the private person. If I had someone in my family, if I were suffering with this issue after a stroke, I would be grateful for transhumanism. Yes, what you're seeing with that transcription thing that he's got going on, that is transhumanism, and that's why I'm pro-transhumanism. The problem with transhumanism is the same problem we have with everything else. We don't have decentralization. We have centralization. Only a few people control these things, just like social media. So social media has been great for people. The bottom line is the people in control are trying to bastardize it. That's the same thing with transhumanism. So it's nothing wrong with that. I'm happy for Fetterman, but if he's going to stay in the race to run for public office, I'm going to tell him that I want to know what's on your neck. I want to know what's in your head. I want to see your records. He doesn't have to answer any of those questions, but then I can say he's not fit for office. Let me know what you think. Should that be public property, or am I getting amped up over nothing? Peace.
The guy's reading his answers off a screen with the reporter 3 feet away. That's the definition of impairment. And again, this is a very serious job. But others in the media scoffed at the idea that was a problem at all. In fact, far from being a problem, it was an asset. Because if the equity agenda means anything, it means that incompetent people ought to be in charge. That's equity.